It's round 2 between the Eastern Conference defending champion Boston Celtics and the Miami Heat. In round 1, the Celtics prevailed by 8. Hi, everyone, with Reggie Miller, Kevin Harlan. If you were going to put a headline above tonight's game, what would that be?
Well, first of all, I throw out that season-opening matchup between these two teams. Dwayne Wade only 3 minutes during the preseason with the Heat, and a number of injuries since then for the Celtics. For these two teams to take the next step, tonight's game, we'll see who's going to be the top dog in the East.
And let's take a look now at the guys who will be playing tonight for both the Celtics and the Miami Heat. We begin with Rondo, leads the NBA in assists at over 14 a game. Ray Allen, the sharpshooter, has had a great season in his 15th year. Shaq is back after missing 5 games with a knee injury. Kevin Garnett is averaging 10 rebounds a game, fully back from that knee injury a couple years ago. Paul Pierce leads the Celtics in scoring at just under 20 points a game. Now for the Miami Heat, starting Carlos Arroyo at point guard, a position victimized by opposing elite point guards this year. Dwayne Wade leads the Heat in scoring, coming off a 39-point game the other night. Karl-Anthony undersized at 6'9". Bosh still searching for a comfort zone with this Miami team, and LeBron is coming off a triple-double. That sets the story. These two teams come in with records not too far apart. 6-2 Boston, 5-3 Miami. Our officials tonight, Monty McCutcheon, Pat Frayer along with Derek Richardson, and away we go. It's the Celtics and the Heat. Rondo finds himself wide open as he did in Dallas the other night. This time he hits a nice mid-range shot.
Actually, for the game winner against Dallas, Jason Kidd electing to go under 2 and left him somewhat a surprise Rondo wide open, but he's going to get those kind of looks tonight.
Inside James. Now points from the paint, which he just got right there, have been few and far between for this Miami team.
If it's not Dwayne Wade or LeBron James, which was right there was LeBron James, then you're not going to see many points in the paint from this Heat team.
It's Garnett and Bosh. Ray Allen for 3.
97 and counting for Ray Allen.
You're keeping track, aren't you?
He's on the heels. I'm keeping track because I'm excited, not because I'm upset.
That is the truth. Here is Wade. You can see when they cross half court that Wade or James will handle that ball. With the shot clock down to 4, and Pierce defending LeBron.
Nice start here for LeBron James. Quick little cross screen, easy lay-in, and then right there, a little mid-15-foot shot.
No one's missed yet.
These are two excellent defensive teams. Miami Heat #1 in opponents' points and field goal percentage, with the Celtics #2.
Anthony defending Shaq. Garnett will give him a new shot clock, a 3 by Pierce. Shaq, who is focused tonight against his old team, Miami.
Well, a rare offensive rebound by the Boston Celtics. And one thing that was interesting, talking with Doc Rivers, he says with Shaq coming back, what this is going to do is going to allow us to get to the free throw line and get to the bonus quicker in quarters. This is a team that's 29th in free throw attempts at 20 a game. And when you got Shaquille O'Neal, where guys, even though at the advanced age of 38, have to double down on him, he's going to get your bigs in foul trouble.
Shot 4-10 from the line this season. Knocks in the three-point play with that free throw. Karl-Anthony picked up his first personal foul for the Miami Heat.
I'm not quite sure I've ever seen Shaq so focused before a regular season game. You know, usually playoff games, guys really lock in, but Shaq focused, especially being out the last 5 ball games with that knee injury.
James looking on Pierce. Garnett was there as the interior defense of Boston. They always like to have a big there right underneath the rim to defend.
Well, you got twin towers down here, even though Kevin Garnett was listed as a power forward as he knocks down the 18-footer. You got to funnel people when you've got Shaquille O'Neal and Kevin Garnett down towards one another.
Here's Arroyo. And Wayne. Into Shaq. And a foul called on the big man for the Boston Celtics, the first on Shaq. Garnett moments ago for the Celtics.
You look at that hybrid 4 position over the years, Dirk Nowitzki as well as Kevin Garnett being able to stretch the floor with that outside shooting in that 7-1 frame.
As we said in the first game, Boston beat Miami by 8. Remember, Miami began that game, Reg, missing 13 of the first 17 shots. They had 17 turnovers in that game opening night, and a little different start tonight for Miami.
Well, 9 total points in that first quarter, 30 by half. They had a better second half, scoring 50 points. And again, this is a team that Dwayne Wade only played 3 minutes during the preseason because of the hamstring injury. And, you know, Eric Spoelstra, listening to a lot of the commentators and reading some of the notes, talking about he's not going to put in a lot of offensive sets yet. He wants his team to learn each other's tendencies. You know, there's so much hype behind this Miami Heat team. It's only 8 games into the season. People just need to relax and let this team come together.
Allen off a screen. Ray Allen has started 2 of 2.
Well, not only started 2 of 2, but he started this season on fire. I mean, he is shooting the basketball like he's 25 years old. I mean, good rhythm, good balance.
Wade, Bosh, and this has been one of the big stories in Miami. They quickly pinch him down low, out of bounds at 7. He's publicly said the team is conceded. He's the one at the big 3 having the hardest time finding his comfortable.
Well, in a system like this, Dwayne Wade and LeBron James are always going to be able to thrive because of their ability to handle the basketball and be in the open court. Where Chris's falling prey is in Toronto, he was always given the basketball and he was always given multiple looks down low, 5, 6, 7 shots in a row. And he's not getting this. But there's other things he can do to help his ball club out. I'm a little disappointed in his rebounding. Only 6 rebounds on this team. And he's a better player. He's a 2010 guy over a 7-year season with Toronto. You can always rebound. Your offense will come and go, but you can play the defensive end and you can rebound.
Of course, he played a different style in Toronto, too, more of a European style of basketball.
Well, they were expecting a little bit more, and yeah, he was a little bit away from the basketball and shot a little bit more. And here in Miami, they want him to be down low with playing with his back to the basket.
Garnett has another offensive rebound, and Allen takes it inside. Celtics have been off a couple days. They're coming off a loss in Dallas a couple nights ago. Miami's going to take a timeout. We got 8:15 to play here in the first quarter. Boston lost, and Miami coming off a loss in overtime to Utah. Boston is on a 9-1 run here early in the game in Miami.
Welcome back to Miami for our Veterans Day matchup between Miami and Boston that the Celtics now lead by 9. Veterans Day dates back to the year 1918. On the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month, the armistice was signed to end the fighting of World War I. Not only on this date, but before every Miami home game, returning U.S. servicemen and servicewomen are invited as guests to the American Airlines Arena by Heat President Pat Riley as part of their Home Strong program. Tonight, the celebration honors returning Navy veterans Ryan Worth and Scott Galbraith, who have served their country well with willingness to sacrifice and serve and a love of country. Tonight, we honor all those who continue to serve to preserve our freedom on this Veterans Day. Kevin?
Great stuff, Craig. Thank you so much. You should see the smile on those kids' faces. Boy, it was really heartwarming. And they are loving every second of this huge regular season, early season game in Miami. Arroyo with a nice fake and finds himself free as Rondo went by. Ilgauskas is in the game. Rebounding has been an early story for the Celtics.
So both of these teams are not great at the offensive rebounding. Boston 26 and Miami 29, but already 3 offensive rebounds by the Boston Celtics.
And thus Ilgauskas is in. He forces a turnover, the first on Boston, and LeBron the other way. And LeBron James has started 3 of 4.
That's why this game is going to be very important from the Boston standpoint. Can't let LeBron James and Dwayne Wade in the open court. Easy opportunities.
And the shot clock is down to 5. Offensive foul on Paul Pierce. His first.
Yeah, it was that left elbow that went right into the chest-chin area of Dwayne Wade as he tried to turn right into him. Good post position by Paul. Made the right move, but just look at that left arm right into the chest area, and Dwayne does a good job of acting a little bit right into the front of the official player.
Arroyo, whose offense is suspect, rebound by Kevin Garnett. He's got 4, including a couple on the offensive end. Rondo with a mismatch now on James. Although you'll be surprised the people that Boston will put in there. And there's a nice looking shot by Paul Pierce, and Boston has now had all 5 starters score. But I think Boston's going to be surprised who defensively Miami's going to put on Rondo tonight.
Well, they're going to switch, and in that transition right there, LeBron James was guarding as he placed up a 3, was guarding Rondo, and that left Arroyo on the bigger and more experienced Paul Pierce.
Boston 70% so far from the floor. Garnett. Oh, scoots it to Shaq. Held by Augustus, his former teammate in Cleveland. That's the first on Z. All right, let's take a look at some of your keys tonight. Some of the musts for these two teams, the Celtics and the Miami Heat.
Obviously, the pace of the game is going to be important. If you're Miami, you want to make this a track meet. You want to get up and down, and you don't want to get into the half court and let that tough, physical Boston Celtics defense get a hold of you. And if you're Miami, you've got to feel the beat. Let them feel the heat. You've got the best opposing free throw points in the paint as well as field goal percentage. And to me, it's the big 4 versus that man, Pat Riley's big 3. And I say big 4 because I put Rondo in that big 3 discussion because he is that valuable to the Boston Celtics.
Well, veterans have gone to Rondo and said, we want you to lead more. Become our guy on the floor. I don't know how many years he played in the league.
Look, averaging 15 assists, shooting close to 50% from the field. He is one of the leaders on this team.
Here's James across the lane. Garnett snares another rebound. He's got 5.
Now James is in attack mode.
Pierce. The house is coming for Miami. It's a missed 2 by Allen. Wade is not shot from the field yet. Crossover on Rondo. Oh, and there's a foul as Eddie House was going with his former teammate. House picks up his first personal foul. They need that outside shooting, does Miami, to clear things inside. The same thing can be said of the Boston Celtics, who bring in Glenn Davis. And what a season Davis has had so far. Great start for Boston.
And Doc Rivers loves his energy and feels that he's playing maybe too many minutes with all the injuries to the O'Neals, Jermaine and Shaquille O'Neal, but probably the most valuable player off the bench for the Boston Celtics.
Rajon Rondo, Kentucky. Here's a look at the upcoming national TV schedule. The Utah Jazz will take on Atlanta, Portland, Oklahoma City on this road trip for the Boston Celtics. They played against that young Thunder team and won earlier on this trip.
Convincingly, too. They had a strong second quarter, according to Doc Rivers, and someone let up in the third quarter, but found a way to hold on in the fourth.
Rondo knocks down a pair. Boston has their biggest lead. Miami has never led.
Garnett holding around the waist of Chris Bosh. This is going to be a tough matchup for Chris, a guy who's already struggling coming into the night. Now you're going against one of the premier defenders in our game, someone who's long, lanky, contest shots, can fight you down on the post.
Garnett picks up his first. Bosh. Now Pierce is on him. House, wide open 3.
Any of the Heat players on the floor right now, that's one guy you can't leave wide open.
Davis, Pierce, and Bosh collects it. Wade.
This is the type of track meet that Eric Spoelstra wants from his Miami Heat. You got to get out in transition.
Runs on Pierce. What a pump fake by Rondo. Augustus.
And he'll have those shots all night.
James and Davis with a nice collision. This Davis is in big games in particular, he is fun to watch.
And this goes all the way back to his college days at LSU, knocking down big shots in the Final Four. And this is a nice, good, solid foul with the L train in the open court. Now, you got to remember, LeBron James, 6'8", 250. So he might almost outweigh Glenn Davis. Probably not. Glenn Davis is about 270.
Davis moments ago and picked up his first person. Paul Pierce has now got 2. So he's going to leave. Here comes Marquise Daniels in the game. And Marquise Daniels, who began last season in his first year with Boston, injured, now is healthy, and he's playing the kind of two-way game they want to see him play.
Well, Delonte West will be back in 2 more days, 10-game suspension from the league, and Marquise Daniels has been the one guy who's gotten those consistent minutes coming off the bench, along with Glenn Davis. Doc Rivers very happy with the production.
With Rondo defending, Wade can't hit. Another rebound by Kevin Garnett. 6. Rondo with 2 assists. Defensive switches all over the floor right now. We got House watching out.
That's 2 opportunities. One by Paul Pierce shooting over Eddie House, and there Ray Allen, the taller player, just using the ball, his body, to shoot over the smaller Eddie House.
Wade, that baby sails right off his fingertips and out of bounds. They're trying to get him the ball. I mean, they're trying to spoon feed him, whether he's on the wing or underneath the rim.
Yeah, but that's 2 bad turnovers already in this first period by Dwayne Wade. First one led to that fast break by Rondo, and right there, Bosh wasn't even open.
So far, the #1 defensive team in the NBA is allowing Boston to shoot 57% from the floor.
And it's all been...
Oh, ho, ho! Up high, down hard, Rajon Rondo.
Where is the rotation on that play by the Miami Heat?
Holy smokes, did he get high? And they gave him a clear path right to the rack.
If you're Chris Bosh, you can't here take a picture. You got to get involved.
Of how many hoops headshots were, and if Ray or Paul needs to get to the easy layup or get to the free throw line. Obviously, technical fouls help, with them two getting their rhythm. So I'm keeping track of everything as much as I can, but I have an assistant with Coach Rivers and Tyronn Lue and Coach Hill.
He's looking to pass first, but when you see a wide open lane like that, I mean, he's going to take it in.
Well, he's going to get a lot of wide open looks because people don't trust his jump shot yet, but we are seeing a point guard mature in front of our eyes to become one of the elite point guards in this game.
Just think what Miami has seen in terms of opposing point guards. Here's Bosh with a nice fake. He got Garnett up in the air and loses it. Shot clock at 6. They've seen Chris Paul and New Orleans beat Miami. They just saw Darren Williams, and tonight to see Rajon Rondo.
Well, out of those 3 point guards, 50 assists and only 9 turnovers as Nate Robinson's coming in for Rondo right here. And this is something that Eric Spoelstra has talked about. Look, those guys would have done it against anyone. It just so happened that they've done it against us. And that's 50 assists and 9 turnovers by 3 of the elite point guards in this game. And people talk about that. This is maybe one of the Achilles heels as Nate Robinson, as soon as he checks in, comes up with a foul.
Haslem has come in for Bosh. James Jones has come in. There's a technical foul called. We have the animated maneuverings of Nate Robinson, who has really struggled to shoot to begin this season. So Robinson picks up the tee.
And Doc says Nate had a fantastic preseason. It's gotten off to a slow start during the regular season. Those are the kind of words that Doc is having with him right now, that you just can't check in and foul a jump shooter, especially a jump shooter. Like he got him on the chin trying to contest the No way. Wow. No way. I'm sorry. No way.
I mean, it's barely even raising your arms here.
That's ridiculous. That is ridiculous. I mean, there's human emotion in this game. And I'm all for the respect of the game and towards officials. But how did he disrespect an official on that play right there?
Plus, I think he was looking at Doc Rivers saying, I don't know what happened. You think he was more Rivers' house?
Well, we'll see if that point comes back to haunt them.
By the way, the Miami Heat, second to last in free throw attempts in the NBA, and they are 4 of 5 tonight. The Celtics near the top of the NBA in free throws. They're 3 of 5 so far. Coming into tonight, Allen looking for Garnett and James with some nice defense on KG, and here goes the rampaging James. House stepped out of bounds. That's the 4th turnover for the Miami Heat. So Boston shooting 60% from the field, 30% shooting for Miami. A perfect night, very festive, and the Celtics on top. Miami coach Eric Spoelstra moments ago on what he wants from his team against Boston tonight.
Come on, we got to get tougher down there. It's 2 offensive rebounds. Those are in traffic. We can't give those up. We cannot give those up. Be an athlete and go up and get it.
Small college point guard. His dad was in the Portland Trail Blazer organization for many years. He came down here to work in the video department for Pat Riley. Learned from one of the greats in the NBA and now takes over this team. Erdan is in the contest. Sonny Erdan from Turkey. That's off the foot of Nate Robinson. It's off Boston. 2:35 to play. That is the 4th turnover for the Boston Celtics. He just doesn't look comfortable. Now, when Delonte West comes off his 10-game suspension, things could really turn around for Nate, who looked great in the preseason with him and West in the same backcourt.
Well, you think Nate Robinson and you think point guard. No, he is a shooting guard, where Delonte West will come back and do the ball handling responsibilities, which will allow Nate to be more of a scorer.
Inside points in the paint coming right there from LeBron. He's played 10 minutes. He's got 8 points. As you can see, the Heat creeping up. Biggest lead for the Boston Celtics tonight, 12. Miami has never led. Daniels. Erdan, who they've been very happy with. Saved. Oh, he's out of bounds. House did not save it.
Look at this nice, strong move. Again, points in the paint. Something that they'll never win a lot of games because of that, but they just want to be even or tied when they're going against bigger physical teams like the Boston Celtics, Orlando Magic, Los Angeles Lakers.
One of the things that separates Boston and Miami doesn't have the depth. Here's Erdan inside. Count it for 2 and a foul.
This is the play that Doc was talking about, that Nate Robinson needs to be a little bit more aggressive on finding his big guys. Pick and roll, 2 guys come over, Erdan wide open. And Doc likes his hands. He's big, he's physical, he'll mix it up. And because of the injuries to both O'Neals, has gotten valuable playoff time for this Boston Celtics team.
He's a rookie from Turkey, played 5 seasons in the Turkish league, played on the national team in the FIBA World Championships, championship game this past summer. James Jones, by the way, picked up his first personal foul moments ago. And here comes LeBron. He is 4-7. Working on more Daniels. It's a foul called on LeBron James, number 1.
He's doing a good job here of anticipating LeBron going baseline. You beat him to the baseline, you put your foot on it, take the charge in the chest.
This is definitely a work in progress, this offense for the Miami Heat, and they concede. It may be, between games 20 and 30 before they find their rhythm.
Well, listening to Dwayne Wade, he's saying January, possibly February, that this offense gets to clicking. And everyone's up in arms that they felt that this needs to be 8-0, and because of the selection of talent, bringing in the big 3, that things would have got off to a smooth start. No, it's a work in progress.
Only double figures yet in this game. Here's James. Haslem.
Haslem's been the one consistent player that Eric Spoelstra has leaned on. Undersized for his position, but rebounds, leads the team. An excellent shooter from 15 to 18 feet.
Too bad he's not about 3 or 4 inches taller, huh? Because he would be a load as Eddie House is over there. Jones picks up his 2nd personal foul for the Miami Heat. He grew up here in Miami, high school basketball in the city, went to the University of Miami. He's bounced around too, but one of the neat things about this kid is that you were teammates with him when he first came in the NBA with the Indiana Pacers. And he is a guy that gives Jerry Stackhouse sets to come in the game. He's a guy who really listens to you a lot and goes through your same shooting routine before games.
One of my pupils that started off coming over early, 3.5 hours with me to get the pregame workout in before the game.
Stackhouse is in TBS weeknights. It's the event that everyone is still talking about. Conan, weeknights at 11, 10 Central, only on TBS.
I'm curious to see what kind of shape Jerry Stackhouse is in. Played fantastic, especially down the stretch and during the playoffs. It's close to 5 seconds.
Quick timeout.
Marquise Daniels doing a good job of denying the basketball away from LeBron James.
Let's go back to James Jones. He has really been on a nice little tear here in terms of his offense. They need his outside shooting. Now we're taking a full timeout, and so we'll pause as well. With under a minute to play here in the first quarter. Celtics have led all the way so far. Talking about the Miami O.
I feel like this team is not going to be at its best to where we hit our peak into, later in, the January and going into February stages of the season. There's going to be times during the year where the offense is going to click, but there's going to be times where it's not. I mean, because you got a lot of guys who got to get used to a lot of different things, a lot of different roles.
We talked to the coach, Eric Spoelstra, before the game. He said they're going to use this homestand to put in more offensive sets, but slowly by surely build up the number of plays.
Again, the Miami Heat players are going to have to learn each other's tendencies. It's not so much the big three, but Eddie House, James Jones, Udonis Haslem, knowing where their opportunities in the pick and pop situation when those guys are going to the basket, where they can find their opportunity.
Stackhouse, Eddie House. Rebound by Marquise Daniels. 14-second difference in clock and shot clock. Winding down the first. Boston is shooting 55% from the floor. Miami at 37.5% from the field. Double screen. Robinson free.
When the game slows down for Nate Robinson, that's where he's most effective, because he can read the defense. He can see where the play is developing, and he's at his best.
Fouls to give. A second difference, game clock and shot clock. LeBron 4 of 7. House for 3. He got it to go. House coming off the bench. He puts in 9 points in 6 minutes for the Miami Heat, who trailed by as many as 12. Now coming to within 7 at the end of 1. It's first place Boston against third place Miami on TNT. Welcome back to Miami. Boston by 7 going into the second quarter. And our Greg Sager caught up with Boston head coach Doc Rivers moments ago.
Well, Doc, LeBron James, the only starter for Manu with a field goal, but Eddie House, 9 points. What do you have to do to stop him?
Guard him. It would be nice if somebody guarded him. I mean, I thought we had Eddie House in Boston, so we kind of know what he can do, and we were letting him do it, so that's on us.
Shaq hasn't played in the last 5 games. He looked very energetic going in, 3 points, 3 rebounds. Is he limited at all tonight?
Yeah, we just got to watch his minutes, because he hadn't logged a lot of minutes in practice, so we're just going to try to play him, and then, by eye, look, when he's tired, we just bring him back out and bring him back in.
All right, thanks a lot. Thank you, Kevin.
All right, Greg, Shaq is back out there right now with Big Baby. Rondo back out on the floor. Marquise Daniels and Robinson. They go inside with Haslem missing, and then Ilgauskas, 35-year-old Zydrunas Ilgauskas, tipping it back in and bringing the Miami Heat to within 5. They trail by as many as 12.
Offensive rebounding from both teams coming back to hometown.
Stackhouse, House, Haslem, Ilgauskas, and LeBron James out on the floor, and that's a good-looking stroke outside by Nate Robinson.
As I said, Nate Robinson is more of a scoring point guard. Anytime you can get him to look towards the basket offensively, he's going to help your ball club out.
Stackhouse guarded by Rondo. Rondo picks up the personal foul. That's the first on Rajon.
Well, you always hear the adage, good D but better O, and Doc was talking about guarding Eddie House, but you see the pick and roll right here, and Nate Robinson did what he was supposed to do. You stop it right there, and you see you sink to fill, but understanding you got Eddie House out here who's been on fire in this first period. He recovers well, contests the shot, but it was good D, but better O by the Miami Heat.
And Mike Miller went on the injured list, and he'll be on there, they think, with a thumb injury and subsequent surgery for until January, perhaps. Stackhouse was the guy they sought out, 36 years of age, has been around. He's seen a lot of basketball. A couple times been also. There's Mike Miller, Skinny Miller. And Stackhouse is going to be an interesting guy for this team. I think he'll fit in well.
I thought he played fantastic for Scott Skiles and the Milwaukee Bucks down the stretch, especially in the playoffs. As Shaq finds a cutting Rondo, gets fouled. And this is a guy that has playoff experience in Jerry Stackhouse. Been in a number of deep playoff series, can score. Better in this isolation system. The question is going to be, when Mike Miller comes back, can he find his offense before then, especially when Dwayne Wade and LeBron's on the floor and they're driving to the basket? Can he knock down those wide open shots?
House picks up his second personal foul. You know, Doc Rivers has been asked this week about the troubles Miami is going through with these new players, because he a couple years ago had to bring in a couple new players. He talked about unselfishness, as you see the big three right there. And he says, you know, we had some cohesion problems early on too. We had to work through some issues, and these guys joined us.
Well, it takes a strong personality, especially coming from your head coach, Doc Rivers. And he made it simple. As soon as they all three came in, he set them all down and said, look, this is Paul's team. He will be our closer. Ray, you're going to have to sacrifice probably the most. You're not going to get as many shots as you did while you were in Seattle, or every other play was called for you. Maybe every fourth or fifth play will be called for you. And Kevin, I want you to get it done on the defensive end. And it's been simple from day one.
Rondo to Daniels. Rajon Rondo with his third assist, and Marquis Daniels has come off the bench with his first basket right there. And we go the other way. By the way, LeBron 4 of 8 to start this contest. And Ilgauskas with O'Neal in the vicinity.
Shaq playing a little bit too much off of Big Z. That's all Z can do nowadays, is pick and pop and stretch the floor.
Shaquille. Haslem. James. Ilgauskas. The rebound by Shaq. Robinson for 3.
That's that one.
House. Haslem. Nice deflection by Rondo. James for the triple. Offensive rebound by Haslem over Shaq. Haslem has come off the bench with 4 points and 3 rebounds in 6 minutes.
Second shot opportunity is keeping the Miami Heat in this ball game. And I'm sure in this timeout, we're going to hear Doc Rivers give the same type of speech that Eric Spoelstra gave about offensive rebounds have been killing us.
Miami's on an 11-5 run. As we're going to break, you were talking about Miami and their second chance points.
Well, they're an undersized unit. They don't have a true center. Karl-Anthony starts from them. You got Big Z in there, but you see they're last in points in the paint, last in second chance points, and 29th in offensive rebounds. And tonight they already have 4 offensive rebounds. They only average 8 on the season.
Marquis Daniels out of bounds. Wade has come in for LeBron. Paul Pierce has come in for Nate Robinson. Almost 3 minutes gone here in the second quarter.
I think Miami has started to tighten that defensive grip. LeBron James goes out. Now you bring Dwayne Wade back in. So you always have a constant point guard, even though they're not the typical point guard. You always have one of those guys handling the basketball.
Stackhouse, Hanson with Pierce. Ron Davis comes down with yet another rebound off the bench. A couple. Make it 3. Miami plus, you talk about bench points, plus 9 bench points right now over Boston.
I think that would have been Boston's strength.
Paul Pierce, 2 of 4.
This man, in my playing days, was always one of those tough players to play against because of his size, his shooting ability, that spin move, just effortless when it comes to scoring.
Match against Davis. O'Neal came in as that secondary wave of defense. That interior defender is such a big part of the Boston Celtics' success.
And here again, and this is the presence that Shaq gives. This is not the guy 7, 8, 10 years ago who had to dominate the ball offensively. He's becoming more of a rebounder and defender and take hard fouls. And that's what plugs the holes for the Boston Celtics on defense.
Finals MVP, Wade. Shaq picked up his second personal foul. Get free shipping on orders of $85 or more. The NBAstore.com today, your official source for the largest selection in NBA gear. NBAstore.com. One store, every team.
Wade tonight, 10 minutes, 13 field goals, only 2 points. LeBron James does have 8 points on 4 of 9, but where is Chris Bosh?
He's got nothing. And Bosh has only played 9 minutes. Rondo. Davis. Chasing down his own miss with another offensive Boston rebound.
Well, what do they teach you when you're in elementary and high school? You shoot, you follow your own shot. Exactly what Glenn Davis does right there.
And he's playing good. Now against Stackhouse. Pierce got Wade in the end. Paul Pierce with a triple. He's got 7.
See what extra possessions do for your ball club. Not only did he pump fake and could have went for a 2, but he stepped back behind the line.
Boston +3 in rebound. Wade. Rondo with the rebound. Wade is 0 of 3. The deflection by Wade, the put back up and in by Glenn Davis, the former Southeastern Conference Player of the Year at LSU.
That's what I'm talking about, never giving up on the play.
Another Miami timeout. Just under 7 to play in the first half. Boston's been off for a couple days, and it looks that way. They are fresh and playing well.
And look at Glenn Davis, thinks the ball's coming to him, hits the backboard, just puts his hand up in the air, and sometimes the baby gets lucky. Doc Rivers has raved about Glenn Davis. Nothing really phases him. In fact, he says he's probably better on the road than he is at home. And it's all about the little things and the hustle that he does for the Boston Celtics. Takes a shot, gets his own rebound, kicks it out to Paul Pierce with the step back 3. Then just running the floor right here. He thinks the ball's coming to him and ricochets and hit the backboard, sometimes being in the right place at the right time. It's just the little hustle things that Doc Rivers loves about him.
Bosh has come in and gets his first basket tonight. Fouled on the play. Only the second Heat starter to hit a field goal.
Finally, if you can get something going towards the basket, if you're Glenn Davis, you got to stay on the floor right there, especially against a struggling player. Make him knock down that outside shot.
Miami had missed their last 4 until that hit by Bosh. So he is in. And as we mentioned back in the first quarter when he was in, he's a guy that, of the big 3, is still trying to find where he fits, how he fits, and how he can best help this team.
Well, the ball's going to be in the hands of LeBron and Dwayne 95% of the time. So they can create offense for themselves anytime. You've got to set up Chris Bosh.
Wade fouls Pierce. That's the first called on Dwayne Wade. Chalmers has come in for the Miami Heat. He hasn't seen a lot of time because he had a preseason ankle injury, so now he comes in at the point guard. Wade moves over to the 2. Stackhouse, Bosh, and Haslem out there for Miami. Here's Pierce at the line. Big Baby is out there. Allen, Rondo, Kevin Garnett comes back in the game. Paul Pierce, Reggie at the line for the first time tonight. He's got 7 points. Boston at the line as a team, 4 of 10.
I'm looking at the body language between the 2 teams, and I'm looking at the Boston Celtics. And I'm watching Paul Pierce and the way he's looking almost in disgust at the Miami Heat. There's chippiness between these 2 teams that they really do not like one another. And especially with all the hype that has surrounded Miami by the big 3 coming, and they're going to dominate the East. I think this veteran-led big 4 of the Boston Celtics has started to take it personal. And it's kind of showing in these 2 games thus far.
Bosh is at 2 in a row, inside and out. So Bosh has now 5 in 10 minutes. That's good, though. I kind of like that chipping.
Well, you want rivalries in this league. And I think we may have, if not, we've manufactured one right now.
That's right. Stackhouse watching Pierce. Paul Pierce has 9 in the quarter and 11 for the game. He is the first player in this game to go in double figures.
Well, there's no way that Jerry Stackhouse can stay with Paul Pierce.
Inside for Bosh, picked up by Kevin Garnett. Here comes Rondo. He got that ball in transition that time, defensively. This pass Allen. Davis. Garnett cannot find the handle. Turnover number 6 for Boston. Here comes LeBron. And the starters tonight. You know, you're talking about manufacturing. Here was a big-time player in a small market, LeBron, in Cleveland. And you were a big-time player in a small market, Indianapolis. You got a feel for how important that is for them.
You know, personally, I was disappointed to see LeBron leave. I just think you need superstars in smaller markets. But I'm not upset, as most people are, because you got to do what's best for you and your family.
Allen for 3. Ray Allen rips it in from outside. He's got 12. And the Boston Celtics have hit 4 threes. And Ray Allen has hit 2. Haslem and Davis. Rondo is watching Jones. Wade against Allen. And into Garnett. There's always a secondary defender right there for Boston.
And you see the size of Kevin Garnett. He just goes straight up, and he goes from 7'1" to about 7'8".
He's got 8 rebounds, and he drills that baby home. He's got 4, and he's just given the Boston Celtics their biggest lead tonight.
They're taking it personal.
They've been off for a couple days. They're coming off a loss in Dallas. And the Boston Celtics with the best winning percentage right now in the Eastern Conference, getting another assist from Rondo, a second 3 from Allen, and Boston is on a 16-6 run. There's Garnett popping one from outside. Fans, a reminder, get enhanced coverage of this game on TNT Overtime Extra on NBA.com. You can vote for which player you'd like to follow during the game. You can watch 4 isolated camera shots, including 2-player ISOs, as well as check out TNT Overtime Extra on NBA.com. Wade and James, Haslem, Bosh, Mario Chalmers. Wade with it. Rangers there. And he goes barreling his way right into Big Baby, and Garnett was there trying to defend as well. Allen and Rondo. Paul Pierce, Garnett, and Davis. Foul goes on Davis here for a second time, and here is Haslem at the line for the Miami Heat. There's been a lot of conversation among the Heat and people that cover this team about how physical opponents they find this season are getting with them. I mean, they're pushing them, they're shoving them, and they find that opponents are treating them very physically this season.
Well, case in point, just the other night, the Utah Jazz down by 22 as Pat Riley, his team's always known for that tough physical play. Charles Oakley, Anthony Mason, Patrick Ewing. He feels his undersized Miami Heat team, Utah Jazz, came in here down 22 and really somewhat just punked them into that basketball game. Paul Millsap would just went to zonkers, 46 points, 9 rebounds. Kirilenko and even Facinko off the bench.
Allen. Chalmers. Did you just say Bazonkers?
Bazonkers.
James, Haslem. 4 to play. LeBron 4 of 9. Nice steal right there with the deflection in Rondo. To the trailing Garnett. Ooh, hit by Haslem. Down he goes, as did the ball. 6 for Garnett. Well, Haslem is a gritty player. And Garnett taking it.
Second in the league in steals. Rondo strips the basketball. Finds the streaking Kevin Garnett. Haslem tried to take the hard foul, but good body control by Kevin Garnett.
Boston started the game 14-5. They've never trailed. Their lead has been as high as 14. Are you surprised anything about the tempo? You mentioned that as one of your keys to the game. We got just under 4 minutes to play in the first half. Has the tempo surprised you?
Well, somewhat. I knew the size would be on the Celtics' favor. They were a +6 in rebounding as well as points in the paint. But fast break points now make that 10-2 fast break points for the Boston Celtics over the Miami Heat.
James. Wade is 0 of 5. Bosh. He's come on now in this second quarter after going scoreless in 9 minutes in the first. And Bosh in 4 minutes has put in 7 points, all in this second.
Well, that's one thing you can always do. If your offense is struggling, go get it on the offensive end.
Rondo, another bump fake. Pierce, 4 of 6. Rebound by Bosh, number 5. A 3 by Mario. That's about where he hit that shot. Only in 2-point territory. Final 4 game, championship game for the University of Kansas.
I'm not quite sure you need that quick shot.
Have tied it in that game against Memphis. Nice knock away by Wade.
Well, I always say when you're struggling offensive and you're a big guy like Chris Bosh, go get it off the offensive glass. Use your size. Again, his 7 seasons in Toronto, he was a 2010 guy. Only averaging 15 points and 6 rebounds here.
Allen for 3. Boston shooting 55% from 3, 5 of 9, 58% from the field. They've just notched their biggest lead tonight.
I'm sorry, the best shooter at 35 years old in this game. And that's sad.
LeBron trying to maneuver and wheel on the outside. Paul Pierce was there, picks up his 3rd personal foul. So send James to the line. Looking for head coach of the year twice with Orlando and Boston, Doc Rivers. So here we got 2:25 to play in our first half. 58% shooting by the Celtics, Ernie Johnson, as we swing it to you in our TNT Arena in Atlanta.
All right, thank you, Kevin. A little game break. Let me show you what's going on in Chicago, where Golden State turned the ball over 11 times, leading to 21 Chicago points in the first half. Derrick Rose had 18 points in the first half. Luol Deng had 21, 66-38 at the half. Coming up shortly, it's the T-Mobile halftime report. I'll be joined by Kenny Charles and Kevin McHale as they break down the first half in Miami. And later tonight, we'll take you to Denver, where the Nuggets will try to hand the 8-0 Lakers their first loss. Marv, Mike, and Steve will have the call. Now let's get back to Miami.
Ernie, thank you very much for the Lakers. They've got such a complete team, and they still don't even have Andrew Bynum yet back in the middle.
And everyone thought that with Kobe Bryant being somewhat slow with that knee surgery during the summer, off to that quick start. Now they feel they can win every game.
Here comes LeBron.
Sports going to the big lineup now. LeBron James at point guard.
Or as big as he can get. I mean, you know, this is an undersized team, but you're right. They increased their size. James Jones has come back in the contest. Haslem remains. Bosh is in there. Wade, foul goes on Glenn Davis for the 3rd time. The Lakers right now, just heard him talk about the game following this one in Denver. But the Lakers have had this terrific start. Reggie and I saw them firsthand when they got their rings on opening night, and they unfurled their championship banner at the Staples Center, 8-0. And look at the Hornets at 7-0 after all the controversy of Chris Paul wanting this summer, supposedly saying he wanted to be traded, then taking it back and said, I'm going to stick it out here. And they're off to a great start. Monty Williams, a nice coaching job in his first head coaching stint.
Monty Williams doing a fantastic job. Give David West as well as Chris Paul a lot of credit. David West has been playing fantastic. And how about the Golden State Warriors? Keith Smart. We're talking about young coaches. Larry Drew for Atlanta got off to a hot start. Monty Williams. How about Keith Smart?
Another 3 by Ray Allen. He is on fire right now. Allen has put in 18 first half points. He's got 9 in the quarter, and 3-point shooting has been his way going in this first half. Is James will go into Shaq and make it go. What a play by LeBron James.
Ron James here off the pick and roll situation. Shaq, who just checked in, picks up his 3rd foul.
So Shaq picks up his 3rd. Ray Allen has gone 4 of 4 from 3. Here is James at the line with the Miami high 13 points, 3 of 4 from the line. But we have the #1 defensive team in Miami, and they are giving up 59% shooting to the Boston Celtics.
Teams are averaging only 90 points already, 57 points for the Celtics, while they're only shooting 41%, 60% shooting by the Boston Celtics.
59-5. You were saying.
I'm rounding up.
Garnett, Rondo, again, and just checked in. Looking for the rookie, can't get it to go. James comes up with it, and here comes Wade. Wade, 0 of 6. Marquis Daniels watching James. Bosh with the screen. Urden coming out. It's a defensive 3. Now, Urden's English is very limited. And so when he was coming in, Doc Rivers was like using hand signals and trying to tell this kid what to do, who has been a pleasant surprise. You mentioned this earlier with the 2 O'Neills injured, not seeing a lot of regular games of minutes because of assorted knee injuries and other things. As James gets the first. This kid has come in and been a nice little stopgap. They put a little Garnett at that center position. Big Baby has been there as well.
He has good hands. Obviously, he has size. And every day when you're going against one of the O'Neills or both of the O'Neills, you're going to learn something. And it's been valuable practice experience for him. Now he's gotten game experience, and it's paid off.
Wade, Bosh, again is defender. Got it. Chris Bosh is right now putting together maybe his best single quarter in a Miami uniform. 9 so far since coming off the bench moments ago.
Finally, this may be something the doctor ordered right here. Nice up and under fake move as Kevin McHale's in the green room saying, I want copyright. But you're right, this may be the best quarter for Chris Bosh because it's been his activity.
Yes.
He's been very active. There's another offensive rebound.
Jones for 3. Rondo. The Heat have a foul to give. Garnett. What a pass by Rondo, and how did Kevin contort his body and keep the presence to tap it up? What a play by Garnett, who now has 9.
We've seen 2 tough left-handed tip-ins, one by Glenn Davis and the other by Kevin Garnett.
Oh. Watch how much he's banged around there as he's airborne.
Well, look at the this is Rondo's 9th assist in this first half, and you just throw it near the rim and you let the ticket finish the rest.
Daniels picking up a foul. His second. We're going to finish up on Bosh here with LeBron at the line, where he is now 4 of 7 tonight with his 14 points. About 6.5 minutes for Bosh, right? He came in, he had first 9 minutes, didn't score a point. Comes in the second quarter. In the last 6 minutes, 9 points.
Well, like I said, it's been his activity, but they haven't ran a lot of plays for him. It's just him getting things off the glass and broken plays and making quick moves.
Good timeout taken by Boston. Well, if I were good in math, I could add up what the big 3 of Boston has scored against the big 3 of Miami. You know what? We're going to take a break. It'll give us 30 seconds to work on our math, and we'll come back. And 17 seconds to play in the second quarter.
I feel I've somewhat disrespected Ray Allen. I said the best 35-year-old shooter in the NBA. Forget that. He is the best shooter in the NBA. Tonight, 4 of 4 from long distance. This is a guy that comes 3.5 hours before game time.
Uh-oh, he's creeping up.
Just give it to him. Scratch 2560 off. Mark me down for number 2. Ray Allen will have this record by February. And I'm happy with it.
Well, you know, on TV, we can change those around anytime we want to. The big 3, Boston's big 3, 38 points to Miami's big 3 of 26. And 17.3 to play here in the first half. No shot clock, Rondo with it.
Let's throw in those 9 assists by Rondo.
Yes, with his 6 points. I guess we'll call him the big 4 with Rondo.
You have to.
Heat's got a foul to give. Pierce, good if it goes. And he scoops it home. What a play by Paul Pierce. 13 points in the first half, 18 for Allen. The Celtics with a season high 61 first half points.
It's almost like these Boston Celtics have been toying with this Miami Heat team. The shot clock running down, the nice little Gervin scoop using the glass.
They will review with instant replay, and that's where we are right now. But the numbers tell the story. Great shooting for Boston. Let's go over to Craig Sager.
Well, I'm with Ray Allen. Ray, it's always a pleasure to watch you shoot a basketball. But when you get a hot hand like that, you sometimes even amaze yourself.
No, it's great to see the team work so well together, and I'm obviously a recipient of a lot of those passes.
You say the team worked together. It seems like you don't have a lot of love for this Miami Heat as a team and as an organization. What's that rivalry like when you play a game like this tonight?
It's just they're our challenger. You know, the team that we have to get through this year to make it to the finals. Last year it was Cleveland. The year before it was Detroit and Orlando. So, you know, so many teams out there that wanted to take us down from being Eastern Conference champs. So we really don't like anybody. We like ourselves, and that's what we focus on every night.
All right, thanks a lot. Right now, the Miami Heat trailing 61-46 at home. We'll be back with the T-Mobile halftime report. EJ, Kenny Charles, and Kevin McHale in our arena in Atlanta.
Celebrating their 235th birthday on this Veterans Day. The Marines celebrate the birthday of their Corps, calling to mind the glories of its long and illustrious career. 75 starry degrees in Miami tonight with Reggie Miller, Kevin Harlan. 5 threes in that second quarter by the Boston Celtics. 3 by Ray Allen. He was on the money.
Well, you heard the Big Four in our Atlanta studio talking about the Celtics Big Four taking it personal against the Miami Heat, and they've got it done in a number of ways. Rondo just going down the lane, no resistance in the open court, finding Ray Allen 4-4 from long distance. The alley-oop to the ticket, Kevin Garnett with the left-handed lane, and then the scoop right at halftime to push the lead to 15 points for the Celtics.
So let's take at the numbers from the Big Four for Boston, and we do include Rondo in that category. What about the Big Three for the Miami Heat?
Well, it got off to a good start for the Miami Heat. Dwayne Wade's only assist tonight came on the opening night bucket, cross screen to LeBron James for the put in, but there's the missed shot, and finally Chris Bosh in that second period, 9 points for the Heat, and here's the and one for LeBron James, but Dwayne Wade, the leading scorer for the Heat, 26 a game, 0 of 6 from the field, only 2 points, 1 rebound, and 1 assist.
Bosh had 7 minutes in that second quarter, Craig Sager. 9 points is what he scored. Let's send it over to you.
Well, a very disappointing half for the Miami Heat. And at halftime, the coaching staff not only talked about X's and O's, but also an attitude adjustment. They said there's no intensity. There's no fire. That's not the type of defensive effort we expect in Miami. They said the Big Three for Boston, in fact, yes, making the Big Four, are definitely having their way. We are not putting up any resistance. Very, very disappointing half for the Heat.
Arroyo is in as the point guard. Bosh is in there. Wade, Ilgauskas starts the second half, and James with the ball.
I think they're going for a little bit more size against Shaq, bringing in Big Z.
Wade has not scored. Arroyo for 2. And when he scores, it's an added bonus because his offense is not his game.
Well, very much the same way a lot of teams don't play Rondo at the offensive end. They give Arroyo a lot of liberties at the offensive end, and he has to keep them honest.
Rondo with the assist. Paul Pierce wheels in for his 15th point, and Rondo with 9 make it 10 assists right now.
Celtics shooting 61% from the field.
It's been like that all night long. Again, this is the #1 defensive team in the NBA. This Miami team is. In the second half the other night, Utah really blistered him, and it's continued tonight. 4 to shoot. James, 1 to shoot. And LeBron is 5 of 11. How about Rondo's last feed?
Look at this nice little give and go dump down to Paul Pierce. And you see how easy that score is? And it's a struggle at the other end for the Miami Heat. Shot clock running down, desperation shots.
Needed to Allen. His first basket tonight.
You know he can score in bunches. Prolific score throughout his career here for Miami. But that's not the problem. They've got to stop people.
Shaq. He just makes things happen, whether he's drawing the foul or whether he makes the foul happen, and Shaq right there will pick up his 4th personal foul. Now Doc, who does not have Jermaine O'Neal tonight, he got banged in the knee, and he's been battling a bad knee, and so he's on the bench. No Kendrick Perkins, he's out until probably after the All-Star break. Doc told us realistic. Here comes Wade. Shaq knocks it away. Rondo. Ray watching another triple, and he puts it down. 5 of 5. Rondo with the 11th assist.
But how do you not find Ray Allen in transition? We thought this was going to be a track meet.
Travel
for the Miami Heat, who's been doing all the running this game. And look at Rondo. He looks him off. He knew all along where Ray Allen was.
Ray Allen was out here, what, about 3-4 hours before the game tonight, which is a nightly ritual.
I adopted it from Larry Bird, and he somewhat adopted it from me, and it's worked. It's worked throughout my career, just coming here early and smelling the gym, as we call it.
Payton's defending Pierce, who had a beautiful move inside right there with great patience. He's got 17. Allen's got 21, and the Celtics have their biggest lead tonight.
Well, there's no energy on the floor for the Heat, but there's no energy in this building. Look at the fans. This is not the same Miami Heat team that blew out the Orlando Magic just last week.
Great pass, but Garnett into Shaq, and Ogauskas right there.
Lost the shoe.
It's the second foul called on Z. How did Garnett just present that? That's a big shoe. Size 18 plus. A lot of fans here. This is such an opulent building. But a lot of fans here go, and they've got terrific restaurants and all kinds of different things to do away from the game. Suites underneath the seats. Sometimes it becomes a more comfortable place to sit, and they can watch the game on TV with Shaq at the stripe, and hits right there, and he's not 2 of 4.
Well, this is the showtime of the South. This is what Pat Riley has created down here. You've got movie stars, you've got former athletes, you have rap stars. You know, they come out here to support this big three. And right now, I have to say, this is an old-time, take you behind the woodshed beatdown that the Celtics are putting on the Miami Heat.
Little 7-0 run by Boston right now. Bosh and Garnett. Arroyo, 2. He's got 4.
But I will live with that.
Sure.
Carlos Arroyo is not going to beat us. So if I got to double down and he knocks that shot down all day, I'll live with it.
Ray Allen from mid-range this time with the fadeaway. Great touch, 23.
23 points on 9 of 11 shooting. That's efficient.
63% shooting for Boston. Shaq just wrestled away his 6th rebound. Rondo and Garnett. Ogauskas. Boston had hit 6 in a row until that miss right there. That goes back to the end of the first half.
You heard Charles Barkley at halftime imploring this Miami Heat team to run. It's the only way they're going to play us. Ogauskas, with the help of Shaq, tips that ball in.
Wade is 1 of 9. 1 of 9.
He just feels that this team, you've got the athletes of LeBron James and Dwayne Wade, you've got to run. You got to run more.
Shot clock at 2. Rondo. Ogauskas saved it. Rondo. And that's a turn. Look at James coming the other way. Full head of steam. Garnett crashing to the floor. Kevin picks up his 2nd personal foul. You know, he had the knee injury a couple of years ago. Rondo is catching his breath. What a pace for Boston. I mean, they can run like this. They probably wouldn't prefer to do this, and they'd rather establish something inside. but it's been so successful that why not have this pace? Huh?
Well, they're beating the Miami Heat at their own game.
LeBron from the line is 5 of 8. And look at the upcoming national TV schedule tomorrow night: Utah, Atlanta, Portland, Oklahoma City. Then NBA TV Sunday, 7 o'clock Eastern Time, Houston, New York.
How about the Utah Jazz? Florida sweep. Being down
Orlando
22
last night, Miami a couple nights ago. My goodness.
3 straight games, down 18 against the Clippers at home.
Think Paul Millsap likes starting?
He's
averaging about 23 points
I think so. Mimic who?
Yeah.
Okur? Keep rehabbing.
Carlos who? Wow. Eddie House has just come in. Ray Allen. LeBron. 4 rebounds for James. That's a foul. That's on Miami. Legaskus.
Well, there's a lot of time left, but you just can't give possessions away like that. Legaskus not set on that screen.
Yeah. That's the turnover story. It's off of Bosh. Clock at 16 seconds. You know, Boston has not, this is probably one of the best games they've played because really they're 6-2 and they really have not played that well. Allen, with the left hand, can't get it to go. James, into Shaq, and so LeBron trying to manufacture. Shaq picks up his 5th personal foul.
And I think they're going to give a flagrant foul to Shaq right here. Like Shaq had both his hands up.
Former Cleveland Cavalier teammates.
It's close. I will say this. In my era, that wasn't a flagrant foul. In today's game, that's a flagrant foul.
Shaq has missed the last 5 games. Amari Stoudemire in a game against the New York Knicks got him with a kick, inadvertent kick in the outside portion of his knee. He's missed some games. It was really a pain almost in the back of his knee, but he's not 100%, but feeling pretty good tonight and starting after sitting out the last 5 games. So he's a welcome relief for some Jermaine O'Neal. You see him on the far left-hand portion of your screen. Frank Yolanda, there he is. He's not playing. He's got a knee issue. He's an older guy. He's a former Miami Heat player, too. You've got teams that are exchanging players.
Well, I think Doc Rivers, throughout this marathon of a season, is going to find ways to rest these older guys. Now, the key is he can't really tax Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce or Ray Allen. Ray Allen leads the team in minutes next to Rondo. Rondo's at 40 minutes, and Ray Allen's at 39.5.
LeBron double. Bosh over Garnett. Baseball foul on Miami. Legaskus will pick up the foul. That is number 4 on him. Really, with the O'Neals, they spell their last name the same way. You could just have one jersey and just have it go back and forth between whoever is going to play.
Well, what I'm going to do is combine their stats. I think when they both got them, you look at their production.
Sure,
you're going to have to look at them as one player because they're not the same O'Neals that I played with Jermaine in Indiana and Shaq for all those years with Orlando, LA, Phoenix, Cleveland, and now in Miami.
Garnett, they're bringing the team together. Doc called him the soul of the team, and when he came over from the Timberwolves, he just established a different culture with this franchise. Bosh picks up his first personal foul. You know what? We talked about this before we didn't finish the story back in the first half, but he had the knee injury a couple of years ago, and he came back last year, and admittedly, and he says, probably not 100%, but he gutted it out, which is typical Garnett. He'll take it. But this year, you can see that he's just a different kind of player, and I think he probably, his big baby has checked in for Shaq. I think Shaq has helped maybe Garnett. I mean, do you see that too?
Absolutely, and he's helped more so to lighten the mood a little bit around Kevin Garnett. A very intense basketball player, and rightfully so, and brings it each and every night. But I think with Shaq, I think along with the help of Nate Robinson, just to relax Kevin. And I think it's helped in his play on the court. And, I see where Kevin Garnett works out during the summer in California. Nice
What a play by Rondo. Right off of Haslem.
And Kevin Garnett stayed in the gym this summer in Los Angeles and in Malibu. And I saw how much he was working as Kevin Garnett. And you see here the hustle by Rondo on the offensive end to get the ball off of Haslem.
of size in there right now with Bosh. Garnett, who's got a double-double tonight. Look at the shots at the rim. Look at the offensive rebound. Look at the effort put inside by Boston.
But where's Chris Bosh? Where's Chris Bosh in all this? I mean, you see Glenn Davis, you see Kevin Garnett, multiple efforts. Okay, I don't get the block. You let someone come over the back of you, gets another shot of it. Use your size.
Down 61-46 at halftime. Here's what the Miami coach said to his players in the locker room.
You are each going to have to rely on your brother to 1, compete, to 2, do your job. Just do your job, be reliable. Let go of your ego. You are going to need each other in the second half.
They were down by 15 at halftime. They're down by 15 points right now. Nothing has changed.
I'm somewhat surprised. In one word, he said, lower your ego. And I thought that was one thing that this team said they checked at the door when they made the big decision signing as Haslem gets one to go. But they all check their egos at the door. So for this to creep in Game 9 about egos, I'm a little bit surprised about that.
James and Wade a combined 6 of 20. Bench points you just saw right there. Repeat that. James and Wade a combined 6 of 20. Dwayne is 1 of 9. And the foul here goes on Wade for his second consecutive time. A guy who did not have the benefit of any preseason. So when they played for the first time back on October 26th opening night, he'd only played 3 minutes of live basketball in the preseason and came in, and of course they lost by 8 to Boston.
Well, and you could tell he was somewhat slowed by that hamstring injury, and he's worked his way into that. Again, leading this team in scoring and having that big 39-point game just the other night against the Utah Jazz.
Davis with 2. Now with 4 as he flies in. That is a big body flying in 17 minutes. Celtics had missed their last 6 until that. Nice little front inside by Glenn Davis.
That's a move against a pretty good defensive player in Haslem.
Wade. 6. He's coming off a 39-point game the other night against the Utah Jazz. In OT, they lose by 2. There's a foul. Bosh. To watch Garnett.
You talk about an improved offensive player. One dribble, quick spin, late coming help by the Miami Heat. And here's Dwayne Wade at the other end trying to find his offense. Simple high screen and roll, going left, knocking down the jump shot.
Garnett will be at the line. Former MVP, former Defensive Player of the Year, 13-time All-Star. Tonight with a double-double, 10 points and 11 rebounds for the Boston Celtics. So when the big 3 of Boston comes together a couple years ago, they're at a stage in their career where they're looking for a first championship. These 3 guys come together here in Miami. They're in their mid-20s. There's a lot more, it seems, maybe on their plate, more maybe individually they want to accomplish, and certainly as a team.
Ray Allen really never going deep in the playoffs. I think the furthest he's ever gone was the second round before he came to Boston. Kevin Garnett always bumping heads, being in Minnesota, always losing to the Lakers. So both of those players were somewhat desperate when they came and joined Paul Pierce. When Chris Bosh and LeBron James joins Dwayne Wade, these guys are at the top of their game, considered the best at their respective position.
That's an offensive foul. Big Baby was on the floor. Wade picks up the foul. Number 3.
And this is Glenn Davis's 15th charge taken. Clearly leads the NBA in taking charges and takes pride in them.
Miami has never led. Boston's lead has been as big as 20. Rondo. Garnett. Nice ball rotation to Davis. Rebound by Haslem. Off the bench tonight in 17 minutes. 7 points and 5 boards. Eddie House for 2. House off the bench, 14 minutes.
And there's a little chirping going on here between Eddie House and Paul Pierce on that last jump shot.
Well, they were former teammates. House with 11. Ray Allen with the drive. Rebound by LeBron, number 5.
It's going to be a timeout if the shot goes down here for Doc Rivers.
LeBron, oh, what a play. And now it has become within reach.
Doc Rivers is looking for the traveling call.
16-7 Miami run. Shot clock at 6. Paul Pierce. Paul Pierce, 19-6 in the quarter.
Eddie House got caught in the switching because of the cross-court pass. Too small to guard Paul Pierce.
Bosh. Chris Bosh. He's got 11. 5 of 9.
And they're down 11 now. They find a way to get this to single digits.
Garnett to Davis. What a pass by Kevin Garnett. And Davis with the nice hands inside.
Well, when you listen to Eric Spoelstra's speech to his team, talking about trusting each other and trusting your teammate, you're seeing that from the team in green.
Haslem. Well, Miami's shooting is picked up. Great rhythm to the game. And now they're up to 48%. And Boston is still close to 60. It's at 56% right now for the game. Davis double. Rondo, what a nice touch pass for 3. Good! He knocks in another. Ray Allen with a smile on his face and a 5th triple going right down the middle.
There's certain people you cannot leave on the floor. But good ball movement by the Boston Celtics.
That is a LeBron 3. Whistles out of bounds. Boston is 8 of 12 from downtown tonight.
And you just see, because of the ball movement, stretching the floor. Look at the little smile to you, Kevin Harlan.
And I'm getting closer, Reg. I'm getting closer. They're plus 8 points in the paint. They're plus 6 points on turnovers. And the efficiency of the Celtics, 18 assists to 7 turnovers. Miami, 11 assists, 11 turnovers.
Well, ball movement has been key for the Boston Celtics. 14 assists for Rondo, 17 in that season opener win, 88-80 by the Celtics.
Bosh is watching Pierce. Joel Anthony has come back in the game. Paul Pierce with 21. 9 of 12.
Well, 9 of 12 for Paul Pierce. 10 of 15, 26 points for Ray Allen.
6 of 6 and 3s. LeBron floats in with a beautiful play in 23 for James. Wade tonight 2 of 10.
Well, at some point, Miami's going to have to take a stand here. They can't trade baskets with the Boston Celtics.
House, Haslem, James, Anthony, Jones. That's the Miami 5. That's an offensive foul. LeBron with a nice acrobatic move moments ago for Miami.
Well, we talked about the ball movement of the Boston Celtics and how fluid it is. And even though this is a nice move by LeBron James, it's the degree of difficulty. Nothing's really coming easy for the Miami Heat.
Rondo picked up a foul. Rondo has 2. 5 on Shaq, and he's on the bench. So here comes James. Eddie House. He's come off the bench. Eddie House in 17 minutes. That was a 2. He's got 13. Burdana's come in. Miami has shot 67% from the field in this 3rd quarter. 3-on-1. Rondo the foul, number 3.
Has a chance to cut into that lead, get it down to 10 with 29 seconds left in this 3rd period.
Rondo's going to take a breather. Nate Robinson has come in the game. They got LeBron at the stripe. That's one of the areas where Miami has been doing a pretty good job. They don't get to the line much as a team, but tonight they're with 25 free throw attempts to Boston's 19. LeBron himself has gone 10 of 13 with 24. TNT this December. Get ready for a new season of living life on your own terms. Men of a certain age. Season premiere December 6th at 10, 9 Central. Only on TNT.
We talked about the free throw line. This Miami Heat team, second in the league, getting to the line at least 31 times a game. And tonight, that's their 27th free throw taken.
No fouls to give in the final 23 seconds of this third quarter. Pearson James. Rondo is out. Nate Robinson taking his place. He just let a screen on James as Pierce moved, and then the foul goes on House, who tried to fill the gap. He got his third right there. Look at that little screen by
Well, what's he
Robinson.
said? That's the key. That's what Eddie House is saying. Was he said before Paul Pierce came off?
Pierce at the line. And tonight he is 2 of 2.
Big free throws here for Paul Pierce. I think you have the momentum going. If you can get that offensive foul and possibly score at the other end and get it to single digits down to 8, but it's a block call. Now the lead could potentially go up to 12. Now, Doc Rivers has elected to go small except for Simi Irden. And if I'm one of the perimeter players, you switch everything, even with LeBron James. Force anything to be an outside contested shot.
Rondo in for Garnett now. Paul Pierce has 10 in this third quarter. 23 for the game. No fouls to give. Again.
Good call.
Second.
I don't know if he took it. Was it his nose, his jaw that hit the chest of Simi? Yeah, it was that left cheek. Former football player in the state of Ohio.
Here comes James, two-time MVP. He's 20th in points. In fact, if you take a look at what these three players, as you take a look at the numbers right there against Boston, where James ranks with those other greats, Jordan, Abdul-Jabbar, and Wilt. But this season, comparing what they scored last year to this season, Wade is averaging 1 point more than last year. LeBron is averaging 7 points less than last year. Bosh is averaging 5 points less than a season ago with Toronto.
Well, everyone is going to have to sacrifice their game for the Miami Heat because they're not going to get the same type of volume shots that they got while they were at their respective teams, except for Dwayne Wade, who pretty much is shooting more and scoring more here. But I think LeBron James has become more of a facilitator. And I think Chris Bosh is trying to find himself.
And it's easy to say you're going to sacrifice, but when you really come right down to it, sometimes it's not quite as easy as it sounds.
No, it's not. And, you know, everyone thought this offense was going to click right away. And again, it's a work in progress. And Dwayne Wade said this could happen very much in January or February, but we've got to learn each other's tendencies first before this offense is going to start clicking.
With 26 and James with 26.
Hey, this is a good quarter for the Miami Heat. Down 15 the start of this third quarter.
LeBron's got 12 in the quarter. A 10-point game. Rondo over James will not count. Even if it had gone, it wouldn't have counted. So it was a one-time 20-point lead for the Boston Celtics. Now it's down to 10. We've got a fourth quarter worth watching coming up on TNT. Presented by the United States Marine Corps. We are in Miami, and moments ago our Craig Sager caught up with Heat head coach Eric Spoelstra.
Well, Coach, a run late in the third quarter to make this deficit more manageable. What did you see in those last few moments that makes you think you can pull
Well, a lot
this
more
out?
passion, okay, and that's what we're going to need in the fourth quarter. Look, we haven't played well. It's a 10-point game. We just got to keep on grinding. It won't be easy.
What do you do defensively to make sure Ray Allen doesn't beat you?
Well, he's making some shots. We got to trust our system. It's good enough, and just going to keep on grinding with passion.
All right, thanks a lot. Back to you, Kevin.
Reggie, we had a 10-point swing over the final 7:47 of the third. Miami shooting 67% in that third quarter. And they're within 10. They've never led. They've trailed by as many as 20 points tonight here at home.
I like the key word, play with passion. You've gotten the lead down to 10. You've got two of the best closers on your squad. You've got to step it up defensively.
6 of 6 shooting threes, Allen. A 2 right here. Rondo was setting a screen. James collects his 6th rebound. Wade is 2 of 11. Robinson or Den. Allen. Oh, what a great feed by Robinson. In stride, on the move. Ray Allen puts in his 28th point. Little Nate getting the assist.
2 excellent passes that I've seen Nate Robinson make tonight, slowing down and letting the play develop.
Jones over Allen for 3. It's picked up by Marquise Daniels. Robinson, Allen, Davis, and Erden out there for the Boston Celtics. Interesting lineup. Robinson, Erden trailing. Foul. Karl-Anthony got in the way. Watching with his 23 points on the bench is Paul Pierce. Miami had missed their last 8 threes.
And this is what I'm talking about, letting the play develop. Nate Robinson easily could have gone by James Jones right here, but he saw that Ray Allen was cutting full force to the basket. You slow your dribble down, you find the cutter, easy basket.
Again. So he's with this team because of a lack of big men. And the O'Neals now both injured. They need him even more now. And like we talked about before, his English improves as his comfortable feel with this team improves.
Well, for Doc Rivers to have this much trust in a rookie, especially a center, with the centers you have on your team, it shows a lot. And there's a lot of teaching going on by Kevin Garnett. You got to learn on the fly. You want to help us out, you're going to have to learn as we go. And he's done a great job so far.
Dwayne Wade. The foul goes on Allen picking up his first. We've had a couple shots tonight of Pat Riley. And we caught him moments ago filling out a score sheet with notes. Now, what you didn't see, there were notes already on one side, and he's filling the other column with notes. And these are observations for a guy. His hand-picked successor is on the bench, and that's Eric Spoelstra. They have great confidence in him. And Riley watches. He's the guy that put this team together and made the splash by getting Bosh and James. So his reputation is as much on the line as anybody.
Absolutely, he is still the mentor to head coach Eric Spoelstra. And understanding that Eric started as a video coordinator and then worked his way up as an assistant coach, working out Dwayne Wade before games, and now he's gotten a shot to be the head coach. 100% he is getting to as Nate Robinson gets a shot to go down.
But Erden with a nice screen that opened up that shot.
Yeah, so those notes are for Eric Spoelstra. And things, it's good to have a third eye, you know, that's not that close to the team, looking at the team, giving his observation.
James into a thicket of Celtics and Haslem. There's a nice feed by LeBron. He's got 7 assists. Haslem with 11 off the bench.
Let's just hope people don't read into that.
Yeah.
You know, we don't want people to read in that these, you know, big brothers looking down on the head coach. And you know, I think these are good constructive notes.
They're very comfortable, this Miami team. Robinson flies in with a terrific move, and Robinson off the bench in 9 minutes has put in 10 points. And this is a guy who's been in a pretty significant shooting slump.
You know what? He's made sound decisions tonight. He hasn't been too quick. Look, hesitates, comes off, uses that small, compact body. And look at him go right to the chest of Anthony. Shield the basketball and use the glass. Smart play by Nate Robinson, who I'm starting to think is figuring it out.
Urden with his third foul. Bosh with the drive. And Davis picks up number 5. Craig, what do you have?
Oh, we saw Pat Riley taking those notes. He is the team president. He is very hands-on. Eric Spoelstra is his hand-picked successor. But he does take notes during the game, and you might unusual also to see him leave his seat in the fourth quarter and head up to his office where he'll have the video coordinator have some tapes ready and also have some notes ready so they can meet with Eric Spoelstra and the coaching staff and talk to the team right away with the immediacy of what he has just seen. So this is not anything unusual. He's very much into the game and trying to make this team better.
I'm sure most coaches wish they had a guy that with that much playoff experience and championship experience as Pat Riley has to be able to be a crutch in a comfort zone for a coach that's, hey, let's face it, he's learning on the fly as well as Eric Spoelstra is, and you've got a wealth of talent surrounding you, a lot of expectations on this team. Probably one of the most watched and followed teams, the Miami Heat, because of the Big Three. And you need a president like Pat Riley who's seen and done it all.
You can see plus 11 points at the line for Miami. Here's Kevin Garnett. 14 points, 11 rebounds, 2 assists. Garnett, very efficient game in 29 minutes.
60% for the Boston Celtics from the field.
Wade. Jones for 3. Now when he begins to hit, this Miami team is a completely different team.
Because he stretches the floor and allows LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, as Dwayne just got into the teeth of the defense. And it just sucks him in. You got to be able to knock down those shots. A lot like Mike Miller will have to do when he comes back in January.
Good point. 3 now for Jones.
Well, you need players to stretch the floor when you have drivers and penetrators like Wade and James. Jones knocking down the 3 to cut the lead to 10. Well, we talked about what has hurt the Miami Heat all season. It's the dribble penetration of some of the best point guards in the game. And we talked about 50 assists and only 9 turnovers by those 3, Chris Paul, Deron Williams, and Rondo. You see in the wins and losses, and look tonight, Rondo with 6 points and 14 assists. Opponents points in the paint. The Celtics are a +10 in the front court scoring, 42-30 advantage for the Boston Celtics.
Jones, he's got the mismatch on Robinson. Run 7-14. Haslem has been a good scorer tonight. He now has 13 points. The first time the margin has been in single digits since midway through the second quarter. Approaching 8 to play. Robinson again with penetration inside. Robinson has come off the bench, put in 12 in 11 minutes for Boston. 6 in this quarter.
They're going to have to change Eric Spoelstra in the Heat. They're picking roll defense.
Wade lost it. In 32 minutes tonight, Wade 2 of 11, 8 points, no rebounds. He said, you know, rebounding is an area that I want to try to have a career high. He's been averaging about 6-7 rebounds a game. Tonight, none.
Well, it's funny if you look at the different dynamic between Nate Robinson when he comes off the pick and roll. He's the scorer, whereas Rondo, when he comes off, is looking to be more of a facilitator and get other guys involved.
Rondo's in for Allen. Shaq is in the game. Only with 5 fouls. Pierce. LeBron comes up on him. Nice move by Pierce to get free. Wade, the rebound is first.
LeBron James picks up an offensive foul as Pat Riley can't believe it.
That's his second.
Saying I was stationary.
Did he lean into him? He must have. I think he leaned into him with that.
That's a tough call. That's a tough call.
Leaned in. Yep, you can see.
Pretty good acting on Rondo as well. I think Doc is looking about taking a 20-second timeout. And look at Rondo says, no, I'm fine.
I think he was swinging.
Well, here's my question. Look at all this. Look at all this that's going on with LeBron James. See, and Nate Robinson got a T for what he did. You got to be consistent, NBA.
Pierce for three from Garnett. Big bait. No, it's Shaq in there. Rondo. Pierce. Ray, can he make it 7? Yes, he does! Ray Allen has just put in his 7th three-point hit tonight. 7 of 7 from above the arc in a great shooting display.
I'm done talking about it. I'm taking my record and I'm walking over to the Celtics bench right now and just handing it to Ray Allen. Time in and time out, this kid has gotten it done tonight for the Celtics.
And we're digging into a little NBA history here. Most made in a game without a miss, 9 for 9. And the two players that did that, you can see Ray tonight is 7 of 7. Ben Gordon and Latrell Sprewell. Both the most threes in a game without a miss, 9 of 9. Working inside. Pierce taking a tumble. And LeBron will be at the line, and Pierce picks up number 4. Well, Miami had cut the margin to 8, 97-89. Boston scores the next 5 points. That's where we stand right now. At the line, 13 of 16, LeBron James, and point number 28 right there. Haslem, James, Bosh, Wade, Jones, the Miami 5. Allen, Rondo, Garnett, Pierce, Shaq, the Boston 5.
Slowly, LeBron James inching our way on another triple-double.
They just had one the other night.
His 29th in his career.
LeBron getting the first 2 points in this 4th quarter for him. 31 for Ray Allen. Boston is plus 18, 3-point shooting tonight over Miami. With a quick foul right there going on Jones for the 4th time.
Doc Rivers recognizes he has a very scorching hand in Ray Allen. Looking to run it. This is called the wheel play. He comes off a series of screens up top to go down low and come off another screen.
He's always running, he's always moving. Here's Pierce looking for Garnett. Haslem defending. Shot clock at 2. Another 3. His first miss, 7 of 8. James with rebound number 8. He'll put up a 2. LeBron James with 31.
Got to cut the lead now down to single digits. A lot of time left here in this basketball game.
Shot playing with 5 fouls. Here's Rondo. Wade trying to commit. Rondo comes sneaking in with the runner. 8 points and 15 assists for Rajon Rondo.
And that play was made because of the gamble by Dwayne Wade to put everyone else out of position.
First points for Rondo, by the way, since the 1st quarter. Pierce again trying to watch James. And Paul Pierce picks up number 5.
Here's the gamble by Dwayne Wade. And that's usually good on Rondo because you want him shooting that shot, but it's so wide open. That's almost like a lay-in for Rajon.
So James with 15 of 18 night. Ernie Johnson at the free throw line here in Miami tonight as we swing it to you in our TNT Arena in Atlanta.
All right, thank you, Kevin. The Lakers are undefeated, and Kobe Bryant is scoring 24 points a night. LA 8-0 going to Denver tonight. The Nuggets 4 up and 4 down. That's game 2 of our doubleheader here on TNT. Back to you.
Enjoyed your halftime, EJ. Thank you very much. Miami coming into tonight, 5 of 3. They've lost 2 of their last 3 games. At home, Miami 3-1. Boston comes in 2 up and 2 down on the road, 6-2 with the best winning percentage in the Eastern Conference so far.
Well, Doc Rivers is going to have to be very careful. Shaq has 5 fouls along with Paul Pierce.
Garnett a screen, switch on defense, Haslem. Garnett. Over Haslem. Kevin Garnett with a big-time hit. 6 of 8, 16 points and 11 rebounds for the big ticket. With 1 second on the shot clock. Haslem with the screen.
And now because of the 5 fouls on Pierce as Haslem gets a 17-footer to go, you've got Rondo guarding LeBron James.
Haslem with 15 points off the bench. 6 in the quarter. Rondo. Nice dive by Wade. Off to LeBron. By Pierce. Into Ray. Foul. Ray Allen. He's already got a sore leg. Allen picks up his second personal foul. LeBron once again to the free throw line for Miami.
All right, the last 3 possessions, LeBron has done a good job of just throwing his body, picking up 2 fouls on Paul Pierce and a foul here on Ray Allen.
Are we underestimating, Reggie, how hard it is to, how much time it takes, how hard it is in making a team, in finding that chemistry as Miami seems to be showing, at least in the early stages of this season?
I always tell people everything that glitters isn't gold. And sometimes you've got to look at things as a whole. And with this Miami Heat team, things eventually I think are going to be special for this team because they have too much talent. But they're going to have to find out who are the Chiefs and who are the Indians.
You're not talking about the NFL and
No, I am not.
Baseball. No.
Can't have too many Chiefs and not enough Indians.
Although the Chiefs are playing pretty well. Garnett, Haslem defending. Doubled by Wayne. Rondo, 3-second on the offense. Rondo camping out inside the paint. That's the first turnover for the Boston Celtics in this fourth quarter.
You're Kevin Garnett, and you've got the smaller Haslem on him. You've got to be aggressive and go one-on-one. You can't wait to pass the ball out. You've got to be able to use that length to shoot over.
Bosh. Nice play by Chris Bosh. 17 points, 6 rebounds. It all kind of began in that second quarter for him. And look at our score, a 7-point game. A 3 by Allen. He's missed 2 in a row. After hitting his first 7, Glenn Davis saves it. It's going to go to the other end. It'll be an over and back. It'll go back to Miami. A 7-point game in a game that Miami has never led, trailed by as many as 20 points. Slowly they have chiseled away at that Boston lead.
And it's really been LeBron James putting the pressure on that Boston Celtics defense in this high pick and roll.
Davis, of course, and now for Shaq. James, 8 of 15. Wade for 3. Davis grabs the rebound. He's got 8.
Not shooting any better than Dwayne Wade right there.
The double on Pierce, the swap away, 15 on the shot clock. Boston will inbound, timeout taken by Doc Rivers, and 3:24 to play.
Well, finally a little energy here in the building for these Miami Heat fans. Only down by 7.
It's the closest it has been in this second half on TNT. And time now for the Marines' teamwork play of the game.
And it's all been about Rajon Rondo's play of getting the teamwork to his teammates. Marquise Daniels with a nice lay-in, and then the alley-oop to Kevin Garnett, the give and go to Paul Pierce, and then the fadeaway to Ray Allen. 15 assists tonight for Rondo.
Let's go to Ernie Johnson in Atlanta.
All right, thank you very much, Kevin. They are off and running in Denver. Game just underway. Karl-Anthony hit an early 3-pointer. We will take you to Denver as soon as you are done in Miami. Back to you, Kev.
Boy, Paul Pierce just hit a tough one in congestion in the paint. 25. 31 for Allen. 12 for Robinson off the bench. KG's got 16. James with a 3. Offensive rebound by Jones. Intercepted by Garnett on a 2-on-1. Rondo and Allen into LeBron. Nice play by Ray Allen. He's got, in 39 minutes, 33 points.
16th assist for Rondo. Remember, he had 17 opening night against the Miami Heat.
It's Haslem, who has been right on the money all night long. 8 of 9 off the bench with 17. Miami in the second half has shot 67% after shooting 41% in the first half.
Well, they dug themselves such a hole. Even though they shot so well, it doesn't look like they even made a dent in this lead.
Shot clock at 4. Allen for 2. James, 9 rebounds, 9 assists, and 33 points. He's coming off a triple-double. He's got Garnett right now for the first time tonight. 35 for LeBron.
Celtics can't get sloppy offensively. Got to burn some time off the clock.
Rondo with the floater. Haslem with the rebound. Off the bench with 9 boards tonight.
3 would be huge here for the Heat.
James into Allen. Shot clock at 7. LeBron. Big rebound by Davis. Davis has got 9 rebounds. Bosh saves it. Wade the other way.
He didn't
Wade
need that position.
To a 12. LeBron for 3. Yeah, he hit the side of the backboard. Hit the side of the backboard.
That could have been a huge play. Celtics didn't need that extra possession on that lay-in.
James knocks it away. LeBron shooting threes tonight, 0 of 5. Wade shooting threes tonight, 0 of 5. LeBron and Wade 0 of 10 beyond the arc and 47.8 to play. Boston will inbound when we come back, holding on to a 110-103 lead.
Ernie Johnson in Atlanta. You see the situation in Denver, a 7-5 Nuggets lead as Kobe Bryant goes to the line. All the Laker points have come from Ron Artest. Melo has 5. We'll take you to Denver for the Lakers and the Nuggets as soon as they are done in Miami. 47.8 to play. Back to you, Kev.
EJ, thank you very much. The Celtics are plus 18 shooting threes. Miami plus 15 points at the free throw line. Look at Chris Bosh. He's got 15. Rondo tonight, 8 with 16 assists. Kevin Garnett tonight with the double-double, 16 and 13. Well, the closest it has been in this second half, and actually in this fourth quarter, 7 points on 2 separate occasions.
Well, we talked about at the top of the show that this game was going to show a lot about which team really wanted to take that step, along with Orlando, of being the beast of the East. And clearly, it has been the Boston Celtics who have dominated from the jump.
Wade is watching Pierce with 1 to shoot. Rebound by LeBron. He's got 10. He's got a double-double. Wade goes the other way.
What a night.
Ray Allen thought he had all ball on that one.
What a night to forget for Dwayne Wade. I think, no, there's no call. There's no foul here. That's all ball.
Got all ball.
Yeah, Dwayne Wade has just had a 2 of 12 night, only 8 points.
As a team, Miami has shot 51%. Boston 55%. Jones passes up for 3. Haslem hits again. Haslem has taken 10 shots and missed 1. Allen left free. Where's the D? Oh, knocked there. There's the defense. Haslem knocks it away. What a defensive hustling play by Udonis Haslem.
Well, was it blocked or did he just miss the dunk? Because if it was blocked, it should be Celtics ball.
Well, he did touch the ball. Maybe here comes LeBron charging.
This is the same way that Miami lost that game against Utah at home. Now they're trying to.
It is funny. I mean, we talked about this with both coaches tonight. As the foul goes on Davis, and he is gone. Ron Davis has just fouled out of the game. Marquise Daniels will come in his place. But, I mean, both coaches have talked about this very thing earlier today in games they had just played. One in Dallas and one right here.
Well, you can't take things for granted, and you've got to be able to close games out. There's been 2 possessions that the Boston Celtics did not even need to take a shot. Ray Allen just should have held onto the basketball. He's a 92% career free throw shooter. He would have been fouled as opposed to trying to go in and miss the dunk, or was it blocked, whatever, but the call didn't go the Celtics' way. Hold on to the basketball, get fouled, and get the sure to.
It is a three-point game. 13.3 to play. Full court pressure by Miami. Timeout taken by Rondo. Boston has 1:20 left. Miami's got a foul to give and a 20. So with Boston leading the entire game, it has been whittled down to 3 in the closing seconds.
Midway through the first quarter now in Denver, and the Nuggets with the lead over the Los Angeles Lakers. It is 11-10, and we're going to take you there as soon as they are done in Miami. Still got 13 seconds to play. Kev.
Robinson for Daniels. Only change for Boston. Rondo to inbound. 13.3 to play. House is coming. Wade draws the foul. Boston led by 11, 110-99 with 2:51 left, and Miami since that time has gone on an 8-0 run. That's a foul. It goes on Wade. He's got 4. First in the last 2 minutes. So we see a Boston inbound.
Good job by Nate Robinson to avoid the contact early by Eddie House.
Pierce, Allen, LeBron. 3 on him.
That's what Ray should have done on the play before.
Yeah, exactly.
He had a wide open layup. Run some time, let them foul you. Go to the line, and again, 92% free throw shooter.
In his first free throw attempt tonight, right here.
Where he's been shooting, he can almost do these left-handed.
Boston, of course, is one of the worst in the NBA in terms of free throws attempted. Dead last. Miami right near the top in the league, and here is Ray. Well, with 7 seconds left, Boston leads by 4. Marquise Daniels back in the contest.
Here we go, man. 1 only. Ray 1.
A 20 for each team remains. No fouls to give. Allen with 34. 35. Miami takes the final timeout with 7 seconds to play in this contest. With Boston leading by 5. We take a timeout from Miami on TNT. Points there, and Miami and Spoelstra likewise in shooting free throws and getting more points there than Boston. So look at points in the paint, and plus 8 points right now for the Boston Celtics. That means plus 48 points for the opponent in the paint over Miami over the last 3 games.
And we've always talked about the lack of depth and size for the Miami Heat. Boston Celtics, that big front line, getting it done tonight.
LeBron for 2. Jones lost it. That's it. Miami has lost for the 3rd time in their last 4 games. Boston goes to 7-2, the best record in the Eastern Conference. And Doc Rivers and the Boston Celtics have come into Miami and beaten the Heat for a 2nd consecutive time this year, 112-107. For Reggie Miller and Craig Sager, Kevin Harlan saying so long from Miami. Right now,